In this video, I will show you the different factors that we look at to determine if a roof is a good candidate to get a solar electricity system. So we're going to use the address 16 Prospect Place as our example in this video, and where you see here it's the fourth house down the street, and we verify the household's location on the Oasis map, and on here it's showing as the fourth house down, so we have the right location. Sometimes Google doesn't show the right location, so we always double check. Next, we take a look at the existing roof conditions. So just very broadly, we see that this roof looks like it's in pretty good condition. It looks relatively new. This is a hatch, this is a skylight, this looks like a chimney over here, another chimney, a vent, and a vent. So these things are called obstructions, and the less obstructions you have on your roof, the better it is for solar, because those need special clearances from the fire department, which we'll get to. These vents shouldn't be a problem. They just look like maybe small bathroom or kitchen vents or attic vents, or solar panels can probably go over them. So far, this roof looks good. Another thing that we do is look at the roof in 3D. And immediately we see that there's this tall tree just south of the roof, which is not good. This tree, even though it's set back, will probably shade the back part of this roof quite a bit. And that is not very good for solar panels. When solar panels get shaded, they produce less energy. And depending on the type of arrangement you have with your solar inverter, it might totally cut the production of your system. So the back part of this roof is probably not a good area to put solar panels. That being said, if we look a few houses down, we see this very high elevated system of solar panels. This is called a solar canopy. And the solar canopy, let me try to get a better look at it, is 9 feet off the roof. And so this eliminates the shade from this taller building to the west of it, right over here, so they can still have solar and get lots of production out of their panels. So canopy is definitely an option for this roof. Another thing that we look at are the areas that need to be left clear for the fire department. And so the fire department requires you to have a 6-foot clearance from the front to the back of your roof, which would probably go somewhere over here or maybe even closer to the skylight or the hatch, and then 6 feet of clearance from the side to side buildings over here. In addition to that, you need to have 3 feet of clearance around all skylights and hatches. So an area around here would also need to be kept clear. That means the amount of space you have for solar panels is very limited. There can probably be a small array over here and a small array over here. Since this tall tree is in the back, we would definitely check the shade in this back area before putting panels there, because you don't want to put panels that would get shaded. If this household was to install a solar canopy that's 9 feet tall, you wouldn't have to worry about the fire code, as there would be enough access for firemen to vent the roof in the case of a fire if it's installed 9 feet off the roof, such as this system. And so overall, this roof is a pretty good candidate. They'll definitely have some shading issues, but the shade is not such a big thing that can't be fixed. If it was something like this building down here, where it looks like the neighboring building is at least 2 stories higher, like a solar canopy probably won't mitigate that shade, and solar is probably not a good option for them, since this building is significantly taller over there. And so our next step is to look at the household's DOB property profile. And so we see here that the first thing we look at is the landmark status. We see that this building is calendared to be landmarked, so that means it's not landmarked yet, which is good if you want to do solar and want to do a large amount of solar, because that means that right now your solar panels can be visible from the street. Once your building is landmarked, or if your building is landmarked already, solar panels cannot be visible from the street, and you need to get landmarks approval before moving forward with a permit. The other thing we look at is DOB violations. If you have any open DOB violations, which this building does not, you wouldn't be able to pull a permit for getting your solar panels installed. You need a DOB permit and an electrical permit in order to move forward with a solar installation. And you also need that DOB permit to get your property tax abatement. So if you have any existing violations, then you would have to get those resolved. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to go solar. And so that's how we determine that a roof is eligible for getting solar. And overall, most roofs we can work around different things to make sure everybody is able to get solar. Sometimes not, but most of the time we can definitely figure something out.